If you are getting ready for the academic job market, then this video is for you. Just in case you're new to this channel, hello, my name is Dr. Echo Rivera, and I help people who share data create engaging presentations. And for years now, I have been helping a lot of academics with their job talks and teaching demos. So I wanted to make this video to talk about probably the biggest mistake that I see people make when it comes to preparing for their future job talk or teaching demo. So ideally, this video found its way to you well before you have even applied to any academic positions. If you have already applied for positions or you have a campus visit, then this video might be a little challenging to watch. Not to freak you out, this video would have been really useful months ago, maybe even a year ago, but better late than never, right? Okay, the reason it's so important that you watch this video now is because I know you have a lot going on right now, like so much. Probably some stuff with your dissertation, maybe your defense, maybe you're submitting it, just dealing with graduation. Maybe you have like 1 or 2 final classes that you need to finish. Maybe you have some like research or teaching responsibilities that you need to wrap up. Plus, I don't know, the whole figuring out your career path thing. And there's the whole thing where now or soon you're going to be doing things like finding and reading like application instructions, looking for job postings, and then like actually preparing your application materials. That is so much going on. And if you are like 99% of academics, then I know you're not thinking about something that really should be on your radar. The job talk and teaching demo. I know you are probably thinking that I am completely out of touch with reality right now, but hear me out because look, I didn't want to make this video because I know you're under a lot of stress right now and I hate adding to it. And this is not going to be a message that people want to hear, but I had to make this. I had to just like do it because every single job talk season, I have candidates email me in a panic saying the same thing, saying, I just came across your work. I need emergency help with my job talk. Can you please help? Can you please design my job talk? Can we do like a 1-hour kickstart kind of session to make sure I'm on the right path? And every single time I can't help because they reached out too late. It is heartbreaking. It is terrible. And I want to prevent it. So if you are here watching this video because I had to say no, I am so sorry. I promise it is not because I'm just heartless and because I don't care. I do care a lot. And that's what this video is for. To understand all of this, we need to go through this together. Okay, because I can see where you're coming from and why it feels, possible to do it in that way. In a healthy, reasonable academic system, it would make sense for you to focus on these things first, your dissertation, your courses, your research and teaching, your career path. And then it would make sense for you to then focus on like reading those job postings, reading application instructions, and then you focus on applying for positions, and then you worry about the job talk when you actually have an invite. That makes sense in a lot of ways, right? I'm not going to worry about this thing until I actually get the invite because I need to do these other things to get the invite. Totally get that. And I would love more than anything for that to be the way things work. If I were under control of this whole academic hiring system, I would change a lot of things, including this. But in order for that to actually work, you need one of 2 things. First, that means your graduate program must have provided you with the comprehensive training that you need to create effective, engaging presentations. So a question for you, did your graduate program do this? Did you get formal, comprehensive training on how to create effective, engaging presentations? Meaning like a full graduate level class on how to do this, or an intensive training that was like 40 hours or more. Yes, that is actually what it takes to learn the skills you need to put together an effective job talk or teaching demo that works in this extremely ridiculous competitive market. It is a challenge to combine high-level written communication skills, verbal communication skills, and visual communication skills. So yeah, I would be shocked if your answer to this is yes, because the most common ways that graduate schools teach how to present data are either not formal or they're not comprehensive. The four most common ways are through osmosis, meaning no one ever took the time to explicitly give you presentation advice. Because think about it, if a grad program thinks that something is really important and needs formal training, then there's usually a class for it, right? So if it's never talked about and if it's not included in the curriculum, then that kind of means they're expecting you to just like learn it in other maybe informal ways. Okay. So it's, kind of like osmosis, like just learn by watching. The second common way is sort of this informal passing of knowledge from one person to the next. Tips and tricks and hacks passed down from mentor to student, mentor to mentee, right? That kind of thing. Or like a senior grad student to a junior grad student and so on. Almost like this just this verbal wisdom being passed around. The third way is a little bit more formal. It's a very, very short 60 to 90 minute, in-person training or webinar. This is usually done by a third party. I used to do these, someone who has expertise, not just in how to create engaging presentations, but knows how to teach it to others. So formal, but not comprehensive. And then finally, if you are lucky or if you have extra resources or your department does, then you might actually find yourself getting like a half day or full day workshop. Sweet. This is, again, usually done by like a presentation skills trainer. And in academia, this is usually done at like a conference, like a pre-conference workshop. Not always. There are departments who hire someone to come in and provide this training for that day. Again, this is something that I used to do as well. And formal, yes. And in terms of how comprehensive it is, it's better than like a 90-minute webinar, but it is not comprehensive enough to prepare you for a job talk or teaching demo. Okay? Now I'm curious, comment below, does this describe what your grad program did or does in terms of presentation skills training? Sometimes this is referred to as data visualization training, though those aren't necessarily the same things, but still, like I'm curious, if so, which ones did your grad program do? Okay, so why are these not enough? What are the problems with these? Well, starting with the first two, osmosis and just like this passing down of tips and tricks, for either of these to work, then it would need to be the norm for most academics to present in an effective and engaging way. Death by PowerPoint would have to be rare instead of the status quo that we know it is. So that's why this will never work, because if we keep continuing to present the sad way, the standard academic delivery way, then this is, what people are going to be learning and sharing with each other. Okay, so those don't work. Now, what about these last two? They're a bit more formal, but they're not fully comprehensive. So the reason why you want a comprehensive training is because short trainings often make participants feel good about their presentation skills without actually helping them develop advanced presentation skills, the type of presentation skills you need for a job talk or teaching demo. Okay, remember, we're specifically talking about preparing you for job talks and teaching demos. That's the context of this video. So yeah, the risk with these short training options is that for either of these to work, especially for that 1 hour or 90-minute webinar, well, presentation skills would have to be relatively easy to learn. So for example, it would have to be just a PowerPoint class, or it would just be a slide design basics workshop, or it would just be a data visualization workshop, or it would just be a storytelling workshop, or it would just be a 10 tips for better presentations type of thing, right? That's usually what you could learn in, say, up to a full day workshop. Part of one of those skills. So this will never work because to create a memorable, impactful presentation, which again is what you need to do for a job talk or teaching demo, right? This like high stakes presentation. What you need are a combination of skills in software, so PowerPoint or whatever you're using, scripting, storytelling, data visualization, psychology, so you can understand your audience and create a presentation that gets them excited about your work and shows that you know how to communicate to them. It also includes graphic design and visual thinking. It involves some creativity and how to create supplementals like handouts. What human could possibly learn this in 4 to 8 hours, let alone 1 hour or 90 minutes, right? It's just not realistic. So this is why I say often that graduate school sets you up to fail when it comes to preparing you for a job talk or teaching demo. Learning by osmosis, or just with tips and tricks and hacks, that is a guaranteed way that you will continue the legacy of death by PowerPoint. And it's not even your fault. Like, it's not because you are bad or there's something wrong with you. It's a problem with the training approach. Okay. And look, just so you know, it is almost impossible to get an offer if you have a really bad job talk or teaching demo, okay? And then there's the short trainings, so formal but not comprehensive. That tends to lead you to creating a like kind of good, kind of bad presentation, something that won't impress a committee because it's just kind of like mixed. So quite a few clients have come to me after getting a full day data visualization workshop specifically. And they do have a few really beautiful slides with beautiful graphs. And it's like, yay. But literally every slide before that and every slide after that is death by PowerPoint. And then there's just this like lack of cohesive story and, not having a good storyboard from start to finish. So by the time they get to presenting their graphs, the audience is gone. The audience is completely disengaged. So ultimately, it doesn't work as a cohesive package, and you need to be able to have that cohesive package, and it all needs to be good from start to finish in a very consistent and balanced way. Not having comprehensive training leads to like imbalanced presentations. So comprehensive training balances that out. So has graduate school prepared you for a successful job talk or teaching demo? Not if your training has been one of those 4 options, or even all 4 of those options. But I said there was kind of a backup option, right? There's like one of 2 things that needs to happen. So if you don't have that training, then what's the backup? Well, the whole strategy of waiting to really worry about your job talk until you get the invite, until it basically feels relevant and urgent, would actually be totally fine if you had enough time between the invite and the visit to catch up and learn this skill, and enough time to then create that effective job talk and teaching demo. So wouldn't that be nice? As my mom always says, if you're going to dream, dream big. Because back to reality, there is something horrible happening to academic job applicants right now. A lot of people seem to be getting like less than 2 weeks notice before they have their job talk or teaching demo. I don't know how widespread this is, but it is the number one comment that people leave in this other video that I created about tackling your procrastination and how to have like a workflow and work on your presentation early and in a stress-free way. That doesn't apply to job talks because you have, first of all, it's stressful. Like you can't create a job talk without stress. Like it's a very stressful thing, but also you have less than 2 weeks, which is absolutely horrible. I think this is awful. And I am so sorry. Like I am so sorry for anybody who has to do this. That's just like not enough time. Like I feel like 6 weeks is really what people should be getting minimum. 8 weeks would actually be ideal in my world again. But I don't control the system. So again, think about it. Like what human could possibly learn all of that and then go forth and create a professional yet engaging job talk or teaching demo that gets them an offer all in less than 2 weeks? Like even if you had literally no other responsibilities, no job, no class, no dissertation, no kids, no family, I don't even think this would be possible. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying? Like that's why it is so ideal to have this part completely done before you even apply for positions, right? You should know how to do all of this before you even apply because you're only going to have like 2 weeks to actually put together your job talk. Oof. So yeah, no, you're not going to have enough time to do both. You're not going to have enough time to wait until you get the job offer to worry about improving your presentations. Okay, so at this point, I can see a question forming. Well, what if I do it after I apply, but before I get the invite? Fair question. And if that's where you are right now, like you've already applied, then yeah, do it. Like don't wait, start learning right now because it's better than never. It'll be stressful. It'll be a lot of change at once. It's going to be a steep learning curve, but it's way better than if you waited for the invite. But if you are asking because you want permission to procrastinate, I'm not granting that permission. Please don't wait because here's the thing. It is not just time in terms of literal hours that it takes to learn this. Like any skill, part of what you need is practice time. You need months, you need years so that it is easy and fast. And you have a plan in your head and you can do it in seconds. I can build a lot of my slides in seconds, in minutes, because I have so much practice. And you need months, if not years, to kind of like practice that and get that fast. Here's an analogy. Imagine your friend has said this to you. I know I'm going to have the most important piano recital of my career at some point 2 years from now. I'm only going to get 2 weeks notice before the actual recital date. But you know what? I have so many other things going on in my life right now. So I'm going to wait to even learn piano until I get the notice. What would you tell your friend? Well, that's what it kind of feels like for me. Okay. When I hear people say, yes, I do want an academic position. Yes, I understand that presentation skills are a part of it, but those are soft skills that need to go on the back burner. I need to prioritize other things. I see that as no, that is a huge mistake. And it is why I am making this video in hopes that it reaches you in time. So think of it like learning a piano. You have to do a little bit here and there. You have to learn in advance so that when you get that 2 weeks notice, it's no big deal. Like it'll still be stressful, but you're like, I got this. I can do this. I can put together great slides very quickly. Okay, so yeah, not good news. I know, I'm sorry. Now, if you're savvy, you might have actually thought of a third scenario where this could actually work out. Maybe you're thinking, hold up, but if bad presentations are the norm, maybe the search committee will be expecting it, and I don't need to have this type of engaging visual presentation that you're talking about. I see where you're coming from because honestly, that would be fair, right? Like that would be super fair because the committee, they've been doing death by PowerPoint themselves and they've been in charge long enough to not provide presentation skills training, right? So they're kind of the ones who are part of the system and they didn't give you enough notice. So you'd think they would be more understanding, right? Like if someone in the committee said, oh, well, that job talk was confusing and boring. We can't hire them. And then others responded with, well, but you know what? Our presentations are boring and confusing too. We shouldn't judge them for what we do, right? And yeah, plus we only gave them 2 weeks notice, and we know grad school doesn't include training. That would absolutely be the fair way to do this. In a supportive, healthy, compassionate academic system, that would happen. Wow. Now we're really dreaming big, aren't we? That would be amazing. But that's not what's going to happen, okay? That's not how it works. That's not how humans work. Humans are like kind of judgy, and we really like to project, and we really do judge other people when they kind of do the exact same thing we do. We do all sorts of fun cognitive tricks and use all sorts of cognitive biases to not even see how we're actually doing the same thing. So when it comes to the job talk, yeah, it's going to kind of go like, wow, that job talk was confusing and boring. We can't hire them. Yep. So just remember, when it comes to the job talk, you are being judged on how well you can communicate your work. And that means you need to have a mind-blowing, memorable, engaging, professional presentation. Full stop. It doesn't matter what the committee does. It only matters what you do in that moment. So no, I am so sorry. This does not apply either. That's why I said earlier that I am really hoping this video reaches you before you even apply. The earlier, the better. That way you have the time that you need to invest in your presentation skills. Is it fair? No. No, it's not. And I know it sucks, especially if you're coming to this video because your job talk is in a week, or you've already done a few job talks and they haven't been going well. But I am here to help. I got your back, and it is never too late. You are here now. We can fix this. So first, let's assume it's the ideal situation and you are watching this in advance. Lucky you. For you, the preparation for your job talk and teaching demo should start years before your job talk, if possible. Like I would say, in my ideal world where I'm dreaming big, and I would say you start this after you've defended your master's or something like that. That would be my recommendation for the most like stress-free, fun, easy way that gives you the most opportunities to like actually practice it and practice these skills in a variety of contexts, like guest lectures, conference presentations, webinars, that kind of thing. That would be my ideal. So if that's already past time for you, then the next best time is now. Okay. Because again, the ultimate goal is that by the time you get the invite, you feel like a pro at this. You know, you're a visual thinker. You know how to design. You know how to storyboard that presentation. You know all of that. So you can spend that full 2 weeks just on creating it. You don't need to learn anything new. You're just focusing on creating the presentation. So that is the goal and why it would be ideal for you to start years early if you're hearing this in time. And if that's the case, if sort of all that work has already been done, you already know how to design presentation slides, then that's when it really makes sense to bring someone like me in at the last second, with 2 weeks or less. And then that's when we can really just like really tailor it to the job talk situation. We can focus more on things like the storyboard. And then that's when I can help. But it's too much to try to do both the design skills and the presentation skills along with actually creating the job talk. So if we've got that ideal situation and you are ready to get started with your training, then make sure that you check out my free training workshop. The link is, of course, in the description below. It's called the 6 Gears of Engaging Presentations. And it's where I talk about the system I use so that it doesn't take forever to create engaging presentations, and you sort of build that momentum so you get faster over time. And that is the next best step that I recommend if you haven't applied for any academic positions yet. If you have already applied, but you haven't gotten any invites, and you are like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I need these skills right now. Then I have a special note for you in the description. So please read it. And basically, like a nutshell version is that I mentioned in the beginning that I train academics and I have an online professional development program. This is sort of the comprehensive formal training that I was talking about. I show you how to learn all of these skills across these courses. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, there's more information and links below. If you have already gotten that invite to a job talk, or you've already been giving invites to a job talk, then, I'm really sorry. I know this was a stressful video probably for you to watch, but I have a special note for you as well. So, I am here to help however I can. So definitely check out that special message for you in the description. Okay, well, I do hope that this helped. Again, I know this probably wasn't like the news that you wanted to hear, but honesty is what is needed. So thank you so much for watching. If this was helpful, then please like this video, subscribe, hit the bell. It helps a lot, especially with a video like this that doesn't have like a happy, necessarily a happy message. And if you know someone who could really use this information right now, please share the video with them. And again, I do have a free training workshop to get you started. So check the description for the link to that below. Okay, thanks again for being here and watching to the end. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.